Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am Bob Benham, your host, and what a crazy, wonderful time it is in America, isn't it? My goodness, with all the wonderful things that the Democrats are doing to our country and the joy that they bring to us. Oh, uh, yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Anyway, uh, this week, I'm tired of politics. We know how stupid the Democrats are with this shutdown and stuff like that. Uh, it's amazing that they're blaming the Republicans for the shutdown, considering they're the ones that vote for the shutdown. They're voting for it and they're wanting it. Um, because if they didn't want the shutdown, they wouldn't vote for it. It's that simple. It's crazy to say that the Republicans want the shutdown, and the Republicans are the ones that are voting for the clean resolution bill to keep the government open, and the Democrats are the ones voting against it. But it's the Republicans that are wanting the shutdown. Okay. The one piece of good news is the President Trump finally getting the ceasefire to happen between Israel and Hamas. I'm not excited about that because, if anything, history has taught us it's that our wonderful Muslim friends don't want peace. They are still going to do what their religion, political, whatever you want to call it, uh, doctrine calls for, which is intifada, uh, whatever, to control the world. So, they're all they're there for is to divide, conquer, and rule the world with Islam being the only quote unquote religion being in control. I mean, either you convert, and if not, you become a slave. And if you go against that, you're dead. Well, that's three wonderful choices considering it's not a good thing. Um, and I have a big problem with all the Muslims that have been imported into the United States by our wonderful uh, Democratic presidents, starting with Bill Clinton when he brought all those nice Somalis over here back in the 90s. And he settled a lot of them in Columbus, Ohio. And I was a police officer there at the time. And oh, yeah, they were a joy to deal with. Um, so, yeah. They, no, they don't want to assimilate with American values and customs and morals. All they're interested is in Sharia law. They don't want to, they don't believe in our system whatsoever. I remember how well they treated female police officers. They were like, I don't have to listen to you. And oh, it was just ugly all the way around. So, and then the bad part is nothing's being done about it. Nothing. The powers that be in this nation are just letting them do what they want to do. And it's disgusting. Then they brought others from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Jordan, Turkey, you name it, and none of them like us. None of them. I mean, just the other day, they celebrated the October 7th massacre of the Jews by Hamas when they did their attack, and they're marching through Times Square in New York City saying death to America. And then in Detroit, or I'm sorry, Dearborn, Michigan, they're doing the exact same thing. And nothing's being done about it. They're just allowing it to happen, and they're going, oh, well, it's free speech. They can do what, they can protest. And that's not protesting. That's not protesting. That is actually calling for violence against America and the American people. That's invasion. That's treason. That calls for immediate out of this nation by you do not belong here. You're out. And nothing's being done. And that's the modus operandi of Muslims, to infiltrate, take from within. And we're letting it happen. We're letting it happen. And I don't care if you want to call me an Islamophobe, you want to do whatever. I don't care. I don't care. It's got to be said. It's got to be said. The truth has to be said. If you want the United States to remain the United States, it has to be said. Because Islam does not align with the United States in any shape or form. The Quran and their belief system does not align with the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and our basic beliefs and core system, or are we were founded on Judeo-Christian principles, not what's based in the Quran and that. None. And none of that aligns with Judeo-Christian principles. None of it. So, I'm sorry if you think they have a right to be here. No, they don't. They really don't. They need to be sent back to where they can celebrate their 6th century lifestyle all they want. I we don't need them here. We don't need their no-go zones or any of that stuff. It's send them back. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I shouldn't say I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for what I feel. I will never apologize for that. Then you got all these I it's just insane are the Democratic Party in this country stands up for all that stuff. I mean, they're just, hey, we need them here. Uh, we need the criminals. We stand up for the criminals. We stand up for all the evil going on. They need to go too. They don't stand up for American principles. They're not assimilating to our nation. How do you how do you I mean it's absolutely nuts that we allow our own Democratic Party to uh, get away with what they're saying and doing. Their acts are actually treasonous to this nation. And then these activist judges, my goodness, what in the hell's the deal with them? They are going against the Constitution. And that's not what they are there for. They're not supposed to be activists. They're supposed to base their decisions on the rule of law, and they are not. I've never seen anything like this, and mm, I'm not happy with it. I've seen, I've, I've seen too much with how the the politicians and all these supposed non-government organizations use lawfare against the people of the United States. President Trump was right. They're not going after him. They're going after us. They're just using him as the gateway to come after us. Because if they can get him, we're small potatoes. They can easily just take us out. You go for the top, and you're able to get it. The rest is simple. So it's amazing to me how how everything's being used and abused to get what they want, and it's sickening. Um, and I wish right now there was an answer for it. You know, they say, well, we need to vote these people out of office and blah, 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 blah. But the problem is, Um, the people in this country are so divided right now. And they're not going to vote out the ones that need to be voted out. Um, it's the left has gone so far left, and the leftists in this country have gone just pushed them that way. I have seen that indoctrination happen and watched it happen, and I've complained about it for years to no avail. I mean, nobody, and and even our wonderful people that were on the conservative airwaves, Rush Limbaugh, one of them, Mark Levin, and others, um, were all over it, saying, "Hey, this is what they're pushing for," and the Republicans, uh, they're just as bad, and because they're allowing it to happen in Congress, um, in both houses, and um, the I've always said this too. It's one party, two names. They are. It's been that way for years as well. Now, do we have some conservatives, true conservatives, on in the Republican Party? Yes, there are. There are some true conservatives, but I also see there's some that are good talkers, but they don't take the actions that they can take. Um, they don't initiate the actions that they can take, and that bothers me. That bothers me probably more than anything, that they don't initiate the action that's possible. And that to me, that's when that's like, you know, okay, you talk a game, but you're all talk, no action. And what good is that for us if you're not going to do what you need to be doing? Uh, eh, eh, where does that leave us? It leaves us in the middle of nowhere, and nothing's being done to help us, the people. We, the people. You're supposed to be working for us, and you're not. They don't give a rat's ass about us. They don't care. They really don't. It's strictly about power for them. What are they doing for themselves? How much power can they deliver to themselves? How much money can they deliver to themselves? There is absolutely no way they should have the amount of money they have on a $174,000 a year salary. No way. Unless they're being criminal and taking money on the side, whatever. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're being bought and paid for by whoever. And there's an awful lot of NGOs and donors and whoever that's willing to pay whatever to get them to do whatever they want. Why? Oh, well, I need my billions of dollars. I can't lose my billions of dollars to the people because, that's just not fair. Well, if you were not so shady in your business practices and stuff like that, you wouldn't have to worry about it now, would you? If you were making legitimate business deals, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. Meanwhile, the rest of us, we're all scraping the bottom of the barrel to get by. You know, I'm I had to go out on a disability retirement because of the stroke I had back in 2002. And when I had that stroke, I had to learn how to walk and talk again because it affected my speech and it affected my walking and using my right side because when I had the stroke, it it affected everything on my right side. It completely shut down everything on my right side. And everybody told me they could see it because they said it looked like somebody drew a line straight down the middle of me, and the right side of me was an ashen gray color, while the rest of me had normal color to it. It looked like my right side was dead. I know it affected my right side because I could not breathe. That's what woke me up to let me know I was having a stroke. It hit at 1:30 in the morning. And when I did all that therapy and rehab, I worked hard, very hard to be able to talk and walk again. And I still have deficits, that's what they call it, from and residuals from the stroke. Uh, some of it's cognitive related. Some of it's motor skill related, like trying to start a nut on a bolt or small stuff like that. I have issues with. You could put items in a pouch and say pull out this, and I couldn't identify it. There's no way I could identify things in a pouch from with my right hand. Um, and um, but anyway, some of the things that I can't do. Well, when my retirement came through, I got a um, full disability retirement from the pension system. And in Ohio, that's 72%. So that's 72% of the highest of average, the average of the high 3 years of the high the, let me start over again. They take the 3 years where you made the most money while working. So that includes all your overtime and stuff. They take the 3 years where you made the most money while you were working, and they average it out to make it 1 year, and you get 72% of that. That's your retirement. Well, for me, being that I had 13 years with the police department, and I was nowhere close to my service retirement time. I didn't have very much in terms of overtime and all that. So I think we were making $55,000 a year at the time, or $52,000 a year at the time. 72% of that was what I got, which equaled out to like I think it was like $34,000 a year, something like that. That's my retirement. Now, granted, uh, every September I get a cost of living increase, and I get a 3% increase on that $34,000. So I get $100 a month increase on that $34,000. So I don't get, it's not cumulative. So like when the next anniversary comes around, it doesn't go up. That 3% doesn't go up it stays based on the original 72%. So for the last 20, see, I've been retired now 23 years. Every September, I still get $102 raise. And do you think that's keeping up with inflation? No, not even close. My 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 retirement is like, it's only gone up to like $67,000 a year. Try to survive on that. I mean, it's decent. It's decent money. It's not bad. But if I were still working on the police department, if I was still an active officer, I'd be making over $100,000 a year now. That's what they're paying. So That tells you how much money I've lost if I were to still be an active officer. That hurts. But that's life too. That's the cards I was dealt. And it could have been a whole lot worse. I know that. I could be sitting in a wheelchair right now, being wheeled around by my wife, and that would have been devastating. I'm glad I'm not. So but it's been a challenge too over those years because where the stroke's located in my brain, it was in the basal ganglia region, which is the nerve center of the brain. All the communication for the brain goes in and out of the basal ganglia region, all of it. And so there's a lot of memories that I had from things I did in the past or whatever that are gone, just flat gone. One of them was of a cruise that my late wife and I had gone. And she was talking about it one day, and I was looking at her like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "You don't remember?" I said, "No, I don't." And she pulled out the pictures from the cruise, showing me the pictures. I'm standing there holding a turtle. She goes, "You don't remember doing that?" And I said, "No, I don't. I have no recollection of that whatsoever." We were standing on waterfall in Jamaica. She says, "You don't remember that?" I said, "Nope." And I don't. I have zero memory of that and none of that. Zero memory. Yeah, I can look at the pictures and say, okay, I was there, but I don't have a memory of it. And then my best friend, he called me up, says, "Hey, I had one of my former partners on the police department that I worked with on paddy wagon with. He was shot and killed in the line of duty a few years back." And my best friend and I were talking about it, and he says, "Didn't you bring him up to Cleveland, and didn't we hang out and do this and this and this?" He says, "I recognize him, and I remember talking to him and his name and stuff." And I said, I, I I don't remember. I have zero recollection if I did bring him up or not. I really don't remember. I wish I did, but I don't I can't recall that memory. I probably did, considering we were partners on the paddy wagon and stuff. I and hung out together. I said I probably did. There's a real good chance of it, but that memory is gone. And I mean, it's just the sad part of strokes. That's the sad part of just any kind of brain injury. That I mean, another good example from that was Bobby Allison from NASCAR when he had that really bad crash at Pocono back in 1988. And he spoke often about the fact that he had zero memory of his victory at Daytona the year before, where his son finished second. He says, I don't remember any of it. And he says, I watched the video of the victory lane celebration where I'm there with my son and stuff. And he says, I have absolutely no memory of it, none. And I can relate to that. I absolutely can relate to that. And it's so sad. And it's heartbreaking. And it makes you realize that about how there's a lot of people that suffer inside for so much. Um, they're they may look just absolutely fantastic on the outside. They look normal. They look how do you define normal anymore? But anyway, they look like they're okay. Look like things are just going fine, whatever. And you have no idea what's going on inside, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what you just don't. You don't know. And myself, I'm one of those people. Um, I I mean, I'm definitely one of them. I might look like, hey, the world is great. I'm at, da 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 da. And inside, I am being torn to shreds. And that is pretty much a daily occurrence. My days are horrible. But I try to put on the best face for everybody because I they don't need how should I put this? Not everybody needs to know that the thoughts and pain that that's going on. Um, and it makes you sound like a complainer. I was always told that by my late wife. Oh, you're a complainer. All you do is complain. And that's not what I was doing. I really wasn't. It was just that I was hurting. And if I didn't say something, it was eating me up inside. And in a lot of ways, I mean, it will eat you up inside if you don't say anything. Um, but I found a different way to do it now. Um, my my new way is I somewhat do it through this avenue by being here and talking on this podcast and telling you, hey, what talk about what's going on in the world, what's going on um, in our country, whatever, locally, um, and trying to give you a little bit of insight to what I've experienced and how I've dealt with it. Um, but I've also it and that helps me by talking about it. Um, but I've also found that late here, uh, and it's been going on for a while. But I just take my time and I sit and I just pray. Um, I just take that time and and my prayers are different probably than a lot of people. I don't I don't make it, like, oh God, please help me this no, I don't do that. I just have a conversation like I'm doing right now. Um, I say what I'm thinking. Um, and I mean, I don't get a response, of course, but I mean, I just say what I'm thinking out loud. And at the end, I just ask for God to please guide me as He's always done. Um, when I put my life, when I told God and Jesus back when I was a 17 years old, I said, my life is in your hands. And when I said that, I meant every word of it. And I know my life is in their hands. Too many things in my life, the way things have happened, there's no way you can say it was coincidence. The- it, there's just so many things that happened that you had to say it was divine intervention. Way too many things. Um, my retirement from the police department, the stroke and the retirement, I know that was divine intervention. Um, because that's the right when all that occurred was when things were starting to make a terrible turn in policing. And I'm very old school in terms of how to police. Um, I'm very proactive in policing. I believe in stopping you for whatever. Uh, you know, I don't care if it's for jaywalking. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to cite you. Um, if I stop you, you have no ID. I'm taking you down to the identification bureau. I'm getting your prints in the system and your photograph. Uh, because we may link you to crimes. Uh, that's just how I was. Um, because I believed in actual crime fighting. I didn't believe in this crap that's going on now at all. And that's where it was headed. And I firmly believe that God knew that it was not going to fit and got me out of there before I ended up either in jail or fired, one of the two. So I know that was divine intervention.
Following is a production of Dirty Mo Media.
There has been other things too. I mean, over the course of my life, my having my current wife back in my life after a 25-year absence. I mean, a total absence of 25 years. The timing of her reaching out, being that my late wife had passed away and she had been gone for a little over a year, and my current wife reaching out to me just over a year after she passed. The timing of that was, I mean, wow. That's divine intervention too. There's how what are the odds of that? What are the odds? I mean, here I am on Facebook, and a message comes across, and it's from her, and it's right at Thanksgiving holiday, and I'm going, what? After all these years, all of a sudden, and of course, I answered her. My late wife is gone. I'm by myself. I'm, basically a bachelor again, widower. And I answered her. She had the thing she had. I don't know if you remember me or not. Are you kidding me? I've only been with 2 women in 30 years. Of course, I remember you. And I also knew that, she was the one that got away. There was, oh my gosh, the what happened when I lost her to my late wife, it was the only thing I can describe. It was a fatal attraction moment that ended up where I had to make a choice, and I feared for my life, for my current wife's life, and my late wife's life, because my late wife was out of control so bad that I did not know what she was capable of doing. And I just thought it would be best to go back to being with her. And I was lucky that my current wife, she was like, yeah, that's probably the the best choice to make at this point in time. She was totally understanding, totally. And she was 20 years old at the time. I was only 25. And so I ended up breaking up with her and going back to my late wife. My late wife was 15 years older than I was. And I ended up having 27 and a half years total with my late wife. And it was, I mean, I'm not saying it was bad, just very extremely bad, but uh, she had suffered from depression, and I do believe she had some other issues. Um, but we, I mean, what are you going to do? You got somebody that's like that. They refuse help, refuse any kind of uh, just any kind of intervention to help, um, and you just have to deal with it. And when you got somebody that they're fine one minute, and next thing you know, a switch has been flipped, and you're going whoa, and having to deal with almost a totally different personality the second minute. Um, you walk on eggshells during that time. And like I said, though, it wasn't like that all the time. I mean, my late wife was, when things were good with her, she was a wonderful woman. She was absolutely beautiful, inside and out. Um, but when the mental health issues reared their ugly head, she was a handful. But I've always believed in the marriage vows. And I stayed and wrote it out till death do part. Unfortunately, the death part was where she took her own life. And that's not something anybody should ever have to go through. Because I died that day. And that's the truth. I died that day. Everything I believed in, everything I had, I mean, just it was just totally devastating. Everything. I mean, it was, and it still affects me to this day, and it always will. I mean, that's just how life is. I mean, you're going to, when it comes to grief, um, it never goes away. Just never. It never goes away. And when, especially if you suffer from a traumatic event like that, it um, it stays with you a little bit. It's a little bit harder, and I've had my share of traumatic events over the course of my life. But that one's right near the top. If well, let's put it this way, that one was the top. Um, but she was, I mean, it just, I mean, the best way it was explained to me, I had to, I went to a young counselor right after that, and she was absolutely great. Oh my gosh, I hope everything went well for her. But she explained it to me like this, and it didn't hit me immediately. But I had a nice 2 hour drive back home after I went to see her, and um, it hit me on the way home. The whole uh, uh, explanation or whatever you want to call it about it. But she explained it like this. She said, "You have to remember, depression is like cancer. It starts out real small, but it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And if you leave it alone and let just don't get treated, let it or seek treatment, it just keeps growing and growing and growing until it overtakes you and consumes you and takes your life." And that's what happened to her. She never sought treatment. She never sought out a way to get relief, and it finally took her. And it took her life. And like I said, when I was driving home, the the impact of that hit, and I was like, "Wow, yeah, that's exactly right. That's a, there is no better explanation of it than that." And that's exactly how I feel about it today. Um, because I deal with it. I deal with it on a daily basis. For me, um, it's not easy. It is not easy, but you have to deal with it the best you can. Um, and don't be afraid to seek out help when it seems like it's really grabbing hold. Um, just get the help. Seek out help. Talk to a friend. Talk to whoever. Um, just and you don't have to talk about what's bothering you. Just talk, because it just to be in the presence of somebody, and somebody that you care about, somebody that cares about you, just to be in their presence makes all the difference in the world. Um, just to be able to sit down, joke around, laugh, have it helps with the weight of that depression. It takes that weight off, um, and gives you that relief that you need for just even for just a little while. And I know it works. That's how it works for me. I know it doesn't. Everybody's different, so I'm not going to tell you that's how it will work for you. Like I've said many times, I'm no expert in anything other than just living life. But I will tell you what has helped for me, and that's one thing. So, with that, we're going to end this episode. Unfortunately, I didn't get to end it on a happy note. But please just watch out for yourself. Watch out for one another. Um, we are living in a dangerous time, and I don't like the fact that we are. And that's why I say what I say, and be vigilant, be aware of your surroundings, keep your nose out of your phone, know where you are, know what's around you, know who is around you, and be careful. Um, it's you just need to be that way today, because there are too many idiots out here that are looking for somebody that's not aware of what's going on around them, and that's the victim they're looking for. Um, please take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and God bless you. God bless the United States of America, because we are it. We're all that's left in this world of a country that has true freedom. And it's being eroded away bit by bit. And we need to fight to get it back. That's freedom. You have to fight for freedom. And it's always a constant battle. And I mean, it is a constant battle, and we need to fight to get it back, because we're losing it bit by bit. Just take care of yourselves. This has been Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am Bob Benham. Thank you so much for putting up with me today. Um, like I said, I'm sorry that it ended on a downward note, uh, but I needed to talk about what I did, especially with the way things are. And I hope something good came out of it. And with that, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.